Thank you so much, Nutrified. That was an amazing presentation. Our second team, Rize, is a platform that connects students to businesses through short-term paid projects. Co-founders and seniors at Tulane University, Sophia and Matt, are passionate about expanding professional development opportunities for students. Together through Rize, they hope to lessen the internship access gap and help diversify the workforce. Now I would like to welcome to the stage Sophia and Matt.
Hello. So raise your hand if you believe having an internship is an important part of your college experience in getting a job. Now, who here believes that having family and personal connections are important for you to help you get those internships? Now, raise your hand if you've had an internship. For those of you that raised your hand, congratulations. But the reality is 40% of students leave college without this internship experience that you just told me was so important for their future. Many students don't have the family and personal connections to get their foot in the door, or maybe they're student athletes and they have chaotic schedules and they're not able to work 20, 30-hour-a-week internships, or simply they just have to work another paid job during the summer to support themselves. It's clear that this traditional internship structure just does not support a vast majority of our students. So Sophia and I's story begins a year and a half ago when we were all sent home from COVID with all the other students, and we noticed a lot of our peers were losing their internship opportunities. And this was really going to impact their future within the workforce. So we started to do some research to really uncover the problem a little bit more and see where can we just create more opportunities for the students. And that's when we realized that COVID and this transition to the remote workforce, it didn't create an internship access gap, but it rather magnified this existing inequality in the system. And if we didn't figure out a way to make the system more equitable and efficient, this inequality would just perpetuate. So we then asked ourselves, why do our perceptions around internships mainly revolve around Fortune 500 companies when small businesses could really be the ones to gain the most value out of utilizing student talent? I'm Matthew Friedman.
I'm Sophia Viscuso, and we are the co-founders of Rize. Rize is a platform that connects students to businesses through short-term paid projects anytime, anywhere. A short-term project is a goal-oriented task that lasts between 2 and 6 weeks long and is always paid. Rize charges the business an additional 20% on top of the flat rate that students make. Our mission is to create a more diverse and equitable workforce, and we believe that by increasing the quality and quantity of opportunities that are available to students, we are creating the space for them to grow during their college years and excel after graduation, while also connecting businesses to a talented pipeline of students. In August of 2020, we launched the MVP of our platform and recruited 800 students from 25 different universities. Together, they completed 100 projects and made over $75,000. The most common projects we're seeing are digital marketing, website development, research, and business administration. We found that these projects are most successful in small and mid-sized businesses as it is an affordable and efficient way for them to complete tasks. However, we had the opportunity to launch pilot projects with Microsoft this past summer and saw great success with them. This opportunity with Microsoft helped us realize that Rize could be a helpful model in any environment, whether or not you had an established internship program or not. So after working with several different size companies, we decided that our most valued customer journey starts with a consultation call and a custom project listing. After the project is posted on our website, the Rize team recruits talented students to execute the project. This entire process is overseen by a Rize project manager. In order to make this an even more efficient process, we are launching project packages and our first social media training program in order to equip students with the necessary skill sets they need to succeed. Our goal is to be a one-stop shop for businesses and students. So within 5 years, we aim to grow and be fully integrated at 50 universities, and we believe we can do this with the help of our valued channels and partners who share a similar mission and value as us.
We believe Rize has the power to transform the way everyone thinks about internships. Because for too long has this system been creating inequality within an industry that is so important for the future of our workforce. We've been able to disrupt this industry from the bottom up with very minimal resources and experience. And our initial traction and success has proven there is a significant need within the market for what we're creating. With the investment money, we can invest into the prize money, we can invest into the development of our technology and the people who keep Rize running on a day-to-day and bring on even more amazing talent so we could scale Rize, helping countless numbers of students and businesses. As a famous politician once said, talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. So join us in breaking down this barrier. Thank you. We'll take any questions now.
Thank you guys for another amazing presentation. I'm curious on the like the company accountability side. Like, how are you ensuring that companies are engaged in sort of the active learning and development of those students? And secondly, like any thoughts on like what success looks like? I'm sure it's on a case by case basis.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. Oh, clickers. There we go. So what we found to be most successful is through these Rize project managers, and by consulting with the businesses before we let them engage with a student, we are actually breaking down their needs and writing a detailed project listing that has clear deliverables. So these deliverables help both the student and the business manager make sure that the student's executing on their expectations. Additionally, the Rize project manager is able to check in on specific pain points and make sure that they've been connecting as many times as we've detailed.
I think our virtual judge has a question.
Cool.
I like this model a lot. I just had a question whether the companies have to change their workflow in order to implement this, because this is not an internship model. It can be a small duration project for the students. So do you see that companies have to change their HR workflow a bit to implement Rize?
Yeah, so what we found with bigger companies who already have these internship programs established, this is more of an alternative. So it's not replacing this traditional internship, it's more for these daily tasks that employees might need. So when we were working with Microsoft on these pilot programs, they don't want to change anything about their traditional internship because that's a great pipeline for talent. But they told us that we have a lot of tasks that our employees just need to get done, and we love working with students, so let's bring a student on. And when we're working with a more smaller mid-sized business, they don't actually have to change their workflow at all because they've never worked with students in the past. If anything, they've worked with freelancers, and this kind of fits their model that they're actually used to.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you.
question.
I guess first, like 10 out of 10 on showmanship, like as you finished the presentation, for sure. So I also run a fellowship program to connect students with funded startups in Africa. So this is very near and dear to me. My question is, what happens when something goes wrong midway? So you're 3 weeks in, students not delivering. What is the recourse for the customer?
Yeah.
And the second question, I'll put it on one as well, is what happens after marketing and social media? Because I don't think everyone in this room is excited about internship and marketing and social media. So like,
Yeah, that's a good question, Aaron. So if something goes wrong, so first of all, we really try to recruit the best students for a project. So the business is not just posting their project and students apply. They actually go through a full vetting process with us. So we're trying to match up those skill sets as best we can to limit that. And additionally, our project managers are kind of checking in to see how things go. But if something does go wrong, and it has, of course, we will replace that student at no cost for the business and actually recruit a new student for the project. So it's happened before, and we found that the transition was really successful. But most of the time, our success rates are really high, and businesses love to continue with those students even past their initial project.
I would even add on to that point is that that's another reason why clients aren't expected to pay until they receive the connection with the students. So once we've recruited students and kind of pre-vetted students and showed our client the applicants, then once they've selected, that's when they engage in transactions with Rize.
How will you scale this? So how dependent are you on the project managers and so
Mhm.
forth? Or do you have any plans to sort of provide, to eventually automate any parts of this process so you can scale it?
Yeah, so we've created project packages. So kind of going back, I forgot to answer the second part of your question, but we're packaging the most common projects just so we could figure out a way to scale. Because if we solve every need right now, it's hard for us to kind of focus in on figuring out what that process is, as Nick kind of told us in his presentation. But what we do is, I just lost the train of thought of the question. Oh, we're creating the project packages, but we're also creating training programs for students. So that kind of will bring our pipeline of students in, so we don't have to spend as much time vetting them and recruiting them. It kind of builds up naturally. And also with the project packages, we could focus in on those needs by training the project managers to kind of really be good at what they do. And then we hope with technology, we can kind of automate some of those processes as we've defined it more.
This might be a naive, non-US question. So how does the revenue model work? So you're clipping a ticket, you're getting 20%. Who gets to determine the price?
That's a great question. We determine the price. So when we consult with businesses, we kind of try and, because we're working with small and mid-sized businesses, we really try and work in their range. So we expect businesses to pay students between $17 to $25 an hour, depending on the the intensity of the project. So we help them establish a fair price at the beginning. We typically propose that that's part of a service that we offer in the consultation process. After the business approves that price, we let them know about the 20% fee on top of it, and that's where that money comes from.
Yeah, and this is part of a big value proposition for us, because these businesses, they don't know what to spend on a student. They don't know what is right. So they're actually coming to us as the experts in how much should they charge for this project. Cool.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rize, for another great